Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Good evening and welcome to the miNEStry. I am Archbishop Dracul, and alongside me is Father Avram.
Hello.
Our creed is to inspire our parishioners with reflections on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Tonight we are reflecting on Rygar, a 1987 arcade port of the 1986 side-scrolling platformer under the same name developed by Tecmo. Tecmo was also responsible for other NES titles including Ninja Gaiden, Mighty Bombjack, Solomon's Key, and Tecmo Bowl. Tonight, our visiting Deacon is Jeff Gabor. Welcome.
Thanks for having me back.
Did you ever leave?
I know. I just stay in the chat room, just wait for you guys to record another episode.
So let's see. An offering for the original arcade game. The arcade game was developed by Tecmo in 1986 and was sold only as a conversion kit. According to arcademuseum.com, there are 7,199 machines in existence today. On a rarity scale of 1 to 100, with 1 being the most rare, Rygar ranks at 35. It was weird. It's like playing. It was like playing a Genesis game we never got.
Mm-hmm.
It was just side scrolling. You know, like in the NES version. Obviously, if people are listening, they know that this is like the NES version had the side scrolling and top down action. This was purely just side scrolling.
Yeah, and it's odd seeing how many different ports there were of the actual arcade. So like Commodore 64, Atari Lynx, I think even like there was a Game Boy Advance or something eventually, something like that.
Really?
At least I know the Atari Lynx. I played a ton of that. That's what I grew up with.
Yeah, you had the Lynx. You poor bastard.
I know. I hated this game, by the way. I had it on the Atari, and I just dismissed it. It was too hard. The frame rate was bad. So I had a bad taste in my mouth for Rygar.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the arcade version was pretty bland too. It's just the same old across the board. I do like that little number that plays in between levels, though. I did enjoy that quite a bit. Probably more than I should have. But.
So interestingly enough, the only thing I can say about the arcade game, I didn't play it, but I did see a video, or at least pieces of a video, and you definitely hit the nail on the head when you said that was like the Genesis game we never played, because even the sound, like I'd be curious to see what sound chip they used, because it sounds very, very, very much like a Sega game. Like,
oh yeah,
yep.
Like it's like they used the same chip or something, because it's like identical to a Genesis game. It's like what's the game? Like Altered Beast, very much the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, very twangy. Like it's got that like sharp sound to everything.
Yeah, like everything's like a brassy sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting to note is it's a Tecmo game, which they were also responsible for Dynasty Warriors and also for Fatal Frame, which is random, but both of those are kind of niche classics, if you would.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm one thing that really disappointed me that I found out in my research about the arcade game was that it was only sold as a conversion kit, which means how many games did they destroy to make this game?
Right.
that's true. That's also really strange. I'm also wondering if it only converted from a certain number of games. I don't know how the conversion kits worked, but
yeah, does that mean it never actually had like a whole cabinet art? Right,
Exactly.
Just a marquee or something
right.
like that.
It's like you just order the pieces, you get the marquee, probably the controls and the board.
I know that Double Dragon did that in some instances.
Gotcha.
Because I actually had one.
So I didn't realize this
same-
until just now because I'm looking at it, but apparently Tecmo is also responsible for the Ninja Gaiden arcade game.
That's the thing. Because like I just had said, I had the Atari Lynx, and I also had Ninja Gaiden, and I was used to the NES one, so I was like, oh sweet, I get to have Ninja Gaiden on the go, and it's the arcade one, and it's awful.
Yeah, it's totally different.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if that's the same sort of just a conversion kit type thing. I bet it is.
Maybe.
Probably so. We'll have to look that up.
I guess they were responsible for the NES version too, though.
Yep.
Okay. Now, how do you go from making one of those games, which is like Ninja Gaiden on the NES is a classic. It's so different and it's so good.
Yeah.
Those got to be two different teams, right?
Well, I don't even know if it's two different teams. I feel like the general philosophies of these games were different.
That's
the
for sure.
Philosophies of development. Like, okay, like the let's make the quarter eater, right? And then over here, it's like that quarter eater won't work. Word will spread fast, and this game won't sell because people aren't getting anywhere in the game, which happened to a lot of NES games.
Yep.
And so they definitely changed the formula to make it more playable and have some longevity.
But isn't that interesting that they saw that that opportunity to go ahead and do that for the NES and reconvert it, but would not do that with the Atari Lynx and Commodore and all that? Like I don't know if they outsourced it or whatever, but it was like they didn't want to take the same opportunity to reinvent the game and to make it work for home ports, and then so you get left with crap versions of the game.
Yeah, it could be a licensing thing too. Who knows?
Yeah,
you know. And they did the same thing. They did the same sort of formula shift with Rygar as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we'll get into that. Go ahead, Father Avram.
A testament to the creators. This was almost a candidate for the Talisman of Unholy Conception. Would you like to elaborate on that? Archbishop?
Well, the Talisman of Unholy Conception is when there are no credits or none of the developers are credited on the game. I could only find one credit on this game, and that was for sound design. Please proceed, Father Avram.
Mishiharu Hasuya, sound design. Also played a part in Mighty Bombjack in 1986 for the NES. Solomon's Key in 1986 for the NES. Golgo 13, top secret episode in 1988 for the NES. And The Wretched Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in 1988 for the NES.
Well, there's an interesting parallel here that like self-plagiarism almost, because he worked on Rygar, right? He worked on this game, Rygar, and he made the music for the Indora chambers is exactly the same, note for note, as the opening music for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
That's right.
Exactly the same. I
think
always
we brought
wondered.
this up.
We did.
When we did Golgo 13, didn't we?
We did. I'm just reiterating.
Yeah. So it's funny. Here we go again with this same sound designer.
Yeah. And I think Mishiharu's most successful soundtrack is on the NES is definitely Rygar, because it has the most awesome consistent tracks. There are some parts, but overall, speaking of breadth of quality, I would say Rygar is his best on the NES.
Mm-hmm.
Let's discuss marketing. Now, I couldn't find any advertisements for Rygar on the NES. It's probably because of its relatively early release. It was a 1987 release, which is only 2 years after the release of the NES itself. And most games during that time that were released weren't very good. So, and we'll get into that further.
It's funny. It tracked well, though. Like, I remember it being a playground type game. Like, people talked about this one, so it didn't need the advertising. Like, word of mouth got around.
Oh, yes, it definitely did. It definitely did. And, it's a fun game to play. I'm gonna put it out there right now. Fun game to play. But let's stick to the script, gentlemen. Now let's discuss the 7 categories for which we execute judgment on Rygar. Category 1 is the narrative.
A reading from the manual. Once, there was a holy place called Argul, which was founded by 5 legendary Indora gods. One day, suddenly, the blackest tragedy happened. The prosperous holy place, Argul, was attacked by the troops of the cruel king Rygar. The sky of the holy place was completely covered with the flying castle of Rygar and his army of dangerous beasts. These animalized soldiers came down from the sky and committed the most atrocious cruelties. In a single day, they established the kingdom of evil. In addition, Rygar took away the door to peace, symbolizing the peace that had been created by Indora. The hope for peace disappeared with the loss of the door to peace, and the people of Argul ceased to smile and only pray for salvation. They prayed an ancient passage to counter the fulfilled prophecy of Rygar's evil reign of terror. The legend says, when the peaceful land is covered with evil spirits, a brave soldier will be brought to life from the dead, for the purpose of saving persecuted people. The people of Argul's painful prayers were so loud that it reverberated throughout the mountains and traveled a long distance to the land of Algosu. And at last, Rygar, the hero, came back from the dead in order to restore peace to the land of Argul. battling the forces of evil everywhere, joined forces with Rygar. This is a reading from the manual.
Praise be Tecmo.
So, I'm gonna say it right now. The translation in the manual, and what you're gonna see this as we go on, is gonna be a common thread across the rest of this podcast. Is that the translation in the manual is awful.
Yep. I can definitely second that.
So,
but this is probably the best piece of writing, to be fair, in the entire manual.
I agree, and it is pretty cool, having this guy come back from the dead to free the land of these evil forces. I think it's pretty cool. Like, I can almost see like a modern day trailer of this sort of thing that they're talking about here in my mind.
Yeah.
I would like to note the oddity for those who might not be reading along or care to, that it's all, capitalized and punctuated normally, except for the word evil in the Kingdom of Evil, and also evil spirits in the sentence covered with evil spirits. Evil and evil spirits are all caps. They're all caps. It's like, evil.
Did you guys see how different it is and how much more elaborated the story is than on the arcade? I think it's worth noting.
I didn't see the arcade story.
So if you let the arcade, it does its like, little like autoplay thing, and or maybe it says you hit start. Either way, it's so short. Like, I can read it real quick. It's so short. It just says 4.5 billion years have passed since Earth's creation. Many dominators have ruled in all their glory, but time was their greatest enemy, and it defeated their reign. And now a new dominator's reign begins. That's it. And it's
what?
Like, what?
That's weird,
dude. Yeah. Again, you were mentioning translations. Like, dominators. That is a weird word to choose.
Yeah,
they probably meant conquerors.
Yeah, conquerors. Yeah, it's probably better. Or they were trying to invoke some sort of like slavery or something. I don't know what they were doing, but it just doesn't track. Like, I don't know what the heck they're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Graphics in the arcade version were pretty cool, though.
Yeah, they look great.
Yeah,
like the classic sunset image of Rygar. Yeah, is taken from the arcade, and it looks great. And it just
we're getting ahead of ourselves, gentlemen.
Well, I mean, that was just a side note on the arcade version.
Well, I am going to bring up some stuff about the arcade version in the graphics section. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Dracul, go.
Let's proceed to category 2, which is audio. Like I said, this is Michiharu's best NES work as far as breadth of quality goes. And you could tell by this audio design that he did work on Goggle 13. It sounds a lot alike.
Yeah, he uses a lot of the same instrument synthesizations.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds very similar.
There is one track in particular, and as soon as I say it, you guys will probably agree, but I'll be interested to hear if you have something different to say. I don't know the name of the dungeon, but the dungeon where you have to go across the pulley, like across the lake, and it's on an island.
Mm-hmm.
You get in there and it's just the same 4 notes. Da, 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 da,
Yeah,
da, da,
Duragos.
over and over and
Yep,
over
yep,
and
yep.
over and over again.
Well, that's what I said. That's what I said. I said there was a couple farts. You know, it's it wasn't perfect by any means.
Yeah, that is true. And the boss fight, like, I don't know, why did they drop all music out of that?
Yeah. But however, I love the monster sound effect. Nobody agrees with me.
I like it. I like
I'm trying to recall it.
You can insert it here and imagine.
Yeah,
what it sounds like.
insert.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's my take on it.
that's pretty good.
Deacon Gabor practices that sound in the mirror.
Oh, yeah. It's my mating call.
Let us proceed to category 3, which is game design. A reading from the manual. Rygar can attack in many positions. On the run, while crouching, while climbing, and even while airborne. You can also attack an enemy in the forward position. Rygar can run left or right. Also, in Gar laws, Rygar is able to run in 4 directions and can jump in 8 directions. When Rygar reaches a rope and you wish to climb, simply press the control pad's upper directional arrow to climb up, or press the control pad's lower directional arrow to climb down. Note, the mastery of the above-mentioned operations will allow the player to advance to the difficult stages, rounds, levels of the game and achieve an increased level of game satisfaction. In Argul, 5 fighting gods called Endura are imprisoned. Make every effort to find them. You can make Rygar more powerful by receiving the 5 sacred treasures from them. Wind Pulley, the crossbow, the coat of arms, Endura's suit of armor, and the flute of Pegasus. In some cases, he is given a capsule for an increase in spiritual strength if he kills a monster. His spiritual strength is displayed on a subscreen, miNEStry meter. There are 2 kinds of capsules. The single star capsule will increase his spiritual strength by 1 unit, and the double star capsule by 3 units. Up to 7 units can be added to his spiritual strength. First, display a subscreen. Then move through the vertical movement of the directional button and use the A button for decision making. This operation consumes a certain amount of spiritual strength and causes his potential capacities to be available. 1. Power up. Mind Strength 3 used. Allow the grappling hook weapon to be stretched. To be used only once. 2. Attack and assail. Mind Strength 5 used. Pressing the B button does damage to all displayed enemies, can be used 10 times. 3. Recover of physical strength. Mind Strength number 7 used. His physical strength will be recovered when the physical strength meter indicates the maximum value allowed. This is a reading from the manual. Praise be Tecmo. Now, I gotta say, that is a whole jumble of words that really shouldn't be together. It was really hard to read.
Yeah.
you know, and it doesn't. A lot of it doesn't make any sense, especially when you start getting down to like the mind strength numbers and stuff. It's like I don't remember anything like that like in the game. But I have a lot of pros and a lot of cons here. But why don't you guys go first? Because I always go first.
So I think what I love about the game the most regarding design is its simplicity. With a couple of caveats to that. But in general, the platforming is really easy. The attacking is really easy. Everything is straightforward. The game itself is not easy. The game itself is hard as balls, but understanding what it is that you need to do, like the controls are not cryptic. There are a couple of things that are hidden, or I shouldn't say hidden, just not necessarily explained very well. It really is, I would say, this is really weird. I hesitate to say what I'm about to say because I feel both ways about it, and hopefully you'll understand when I explain, but it fails in the same way that other games do, in that it tries to almost do two modes of play on the NES, which typically for the NES that doesn't work out very well. Usually it there's one or the other that is lacking. But at the same time, it was, for what it was, I think it was done really well. And what I mean is the side-scrolling game and then the top-down game, it was done pretty much as well as it could be, I think. The top-down aspect of the game allowed for more of an adventure-like feel rather than just either a linear side-scrolling game or a horrible mess of 2D doors to different worlds that you could get lost in. I think the top-down world kind of connected those things together in a way that made as much sense as it could for an NES game at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I love the choice that they went to the top-down to expand the world into. I mean, it's a pretty bold choice. That's one of the things that they added just from nothing, like the whole overworld and being able to connect it. And then, the reading from the manual, that was the biggest difference from like playing this as a kid and playing it as an adult, is just having the intelligence to actually pick up the manual and realize that so much of the game's information on how to play it is sitting in the manual, including like maps and where to go and what the objective is. And it's put together really well. I think the subscreen is super random, like the mind strength and how you gain skills or power up and what's carried over from death and what's not. It took a little bit to get used to. And even the attack and the assail is an incredibly overpowered skill, but it's not immediately accessible in terms of how you use it. It's just a little unclear. But once you know how to manipulate it, man, you can take out any of the main enemies like without much of an effort at all, because I know you read it, but it's like, so you have like seven units, and attack and assail costs 5. But you can get these things it's called a 3-pack. So like when you kill an enemy, they'll drop some of that magic, whatever, mind strength stuff. And they can drop in one of them that's worth 3. So what you can do is you can cast attack and assail when you're at full. That'll drop from 7. It'll drop you down to 2. I know I'm getting in the weeds, but then you can pick up that 3-pack, which will put you back over the 5 that it takes to use attack and assail. You don't actually use attack and assail because you have 10 hits that'll damage everything on the screen, and it also makes you invulnerable while you're doing it. So you can do that, run into the boss room, and you'll be able to use all 10 attack and assail for your first attack, and then recast it again and use another 10, and it basically turns any boss to a trivial piece of trash.
Yeah, see, I didn't know anything about that until like I was at Rygar. So, I'll get into it, but my pros are that I like how the combat felt seamless with the locomotion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel that the jumping felt very good, and I like the ability to bounce on enemies without taking any damage because it played a very big part in attack strategies, just
Yeah.
like the robots and stuff. A good variety of interactive items that actually play a part in the gameplay, which was a rarity for that time. Like, I can't stress that enough. There
Yeah.
was there was no like really crazy item based games in 1987. You know,
Except
No,
for
if anything,
Zelda.
the one game I can think of, well, that in Metroid, right? Like you get
Yeah.
upgrades
Yeah.
and it changes what you can do and it opens up new areas. So in that way, that there's whole sections of the game that are like locked off until you get the pulley or the crossbow or whatever.
yeah. As far as the cons go for me, I don't like the necessary grinding that it takes to play this game.
Yeah.
I also wish the overworld Garlaws was bigger. I heavily, I hate, I'm not even gonna say, I'm not gonna be nice here. I hate the labels of tone, last, and mind points. It's
Yeah.
fucking confusing. They should have kept it simple with attack, health, and magic instead.
Last, I still don't get that. I don't even know where that word came from.
I don't
don't
get it
know.
either. How
The
long
only
you
thing
can
I
last,
can,
I don't know.
yeah, exactly. That's the only thing I can guess is like how long your endurance, how long you can last.
Yeah.
And then looping back to the attack assail thing, I felt the last battle with Rygar was anticlimactic once I maxed out my stats because of that.
Yeah.
I killed him with just one round of attack and assail.
Yep. Yeah. It trivializes the whole last half of the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, you mentioned the jumping mechanic. That is so cool, and it's coming straight from the arcade, and that it is like every enemy becomes like a trampoline, and you can kind of cheese large portions of the game if you don't want to do combat. And
Yeah.
but you're right, the combat feels really good. And speaking of plugging in other podcasts, did a podcast bringing up Yonoid, which has a similar like sort of yo-yo type of mechanic to the weapon, and that's how you can see how bad it can be. And given that this came out, many years before Yonoid, and it feels good, there's a lot of praise to be had on Rygar for how well they do that mechanic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm impressed at how much they were able to fit into this game.
Yeah.
Because not only do they have items, they have the jumping, the bouncing on enemies' backs. They have the top down world exploring. Plus, you have some very decent platforming. Speaking of the platforming and the jumping, also to note here for my pros was I noticed I was very scared at first when I started jumping on platforms, only to realize that it was actually very forgiving, and I was surprised because that is not something that was typically programmed in NES games at all. It was like, oh, you missed the platform, like you weren't at least 1 pixel on this platform, like you're screwed, But it seems to me that in Rygar with the jumping, it's like there's a leeway for each edge of the platform that doesn't necessarily exist in other games of its type.
Yeah. Did you guys just as like a add into all that bouncing and stuff like that? Did you know that there's 2 different revisions of the US Rygar, and it actually changes the bounce mechanic?
Really?
Nope.
So, revision 0 of the game continues to allow Rygar to bounce on those like red bat characters. They're like big goblin flying bats. If you end up picking up revision 1 of the game, you can no longer bounce on those guys. You just take a hit.
Really?
And it's super unusual because like it's sort of the unspoken rule throughout all of Rygar. It's like, yeah, you can bounce on anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
But they purposely went back and made a revision to take that away from one particular enemy. Super weird.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's
strange.
Yeah. Either that or it's a bug.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, maybe.
But that's
They
weird.
did a revision to add a bug. That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Was that the only revision they made in revision 1?
That's the only revision out of everything in the game. I cannot recognize any other differences between the revisions.
Oh, that's strange.
All right, let us proceed to category 4, which is graphics. The NES did a very, 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 very faithful job at porting the player character animations.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's almost like I was playing the arcade version, and I was like, "Wow, that's the Rygar I know," you know.
Yeah.
Huge variety of detailed and interesting enemies that are specific to their respective geographies too. Like that for me is huge for the NES. Because how many times have you played a game on the NES and it's the same old enemies coming at you? It doesn't matter what level it is. It's the same old enemies coming at you all the time.
Or at most a palette swap.
Yeah, but these were special, like really well done too, and created for their specific areas that they're in the game. Really cool.
Yep. There were definitely some recycling, of course, but you're not going to escape that in the NES.
No,
but you know, there was a large variety for sure.
Yeah, and a lot of it again is unique only to the NES version. There's not, some of them are taken as like inspiration from the arcade, but like the tree characters, the robots, I don't think any of that exists in the arcade.
Yeah.
The robots were a weird addition, in my opinion.
It did feel like you suddenly got to like a different place in the game. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, all right.
Yeah, like it made me think like, is the underlying story here that they're not talking about is like that it's actually like aliens or like AI or something? Like it's weird.
The thing I do like about the robots is that those things are what you grind to bump up your stats.
Yeah, they're great for that.
Yep. They're hard at first, but once you get, you're almost at a full capacity once you hit them once and they die. But in the beginning, you're going to be sitting there and just beating the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Cons for me is the endings. The ending was a few screens, but none of them are very good. Now, I shouldn't complain. At least it wasn't just a text-based on a black screen ending. But I feel like I wanted to see Rygar. Like,
yeah.
You know, I wanted to see Rygar. I didn't want to see a dove with rainbows and stuff like that. You know.
Well, I mean, as far as NES endings go, I don't. It gets a pass from me only because as far as NES endings go, there wasn't a whole lot to them. Like it was pretty much on par, I think, with the endings, and actually better than some, because some, like you mentioned, were just a screen of text, or if a screen of text. Sometimes it's a sentence. In the worst cases, sometimes one misspelled word. So
congratulations.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, we don't have to mention which game that is, but you know, I thought that actually they took one step further because they had the animation of the dove there, which was, you know, it wasn't great or anything, but they did do something, right? And that is more than can be said for a lot of NES games of the time, especially an early one.
Yeah. No, I don't want to. I'm sorry if I sound like I was complaining. I definitely appreciate.
No, but I know there's a desire to have more. Like,
Sure.
you wish. And it's given. It's Tecmo, right? Tecmo's they're the creators of the Ninja Gaiden cinematics. Like,
Right.
you wish that was there. It's like they had the skill and the talent, and they did it a year later or wherever it was. But yeah, it's just not here.
Yeah. But I did not get to the end. I was watching the end, and as I was watching it, I was like, man, aren't all these freaking Nintendo games the same in regards to, hey, the land is in trouble, or this person is in trouble, and you need to do something to rectify this situation, and then you do a bunch of stuff, and then they're like, all right, great, you rectified the situation, the end.
Yeah.
All right. You guys got anything else to say about the graphics?
Nah, just that I love the sunset, man. The sunset image is just iconic. That is classic Nintendo. I don't know. There's few images that say NES more than that. Rygar sunset.
Yeah.
I was surprised, honestly, at the level of animation that they were able to achieve given the variety.
Yeah.
So I will add that.
I'm not sure about the animation of him when he's on the climbing the rope though. That's
that's a little
iffy.
Jank.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let us proceed to category 5, which is box art and presentation.
A reading from the back of the box. You and Rygar, the legendary warrior of Argul, must defeat the evil king and his army of dangerous beasts. With powers and weapons from the Endora war gods, you go into battle with Rygar. It's up to you. The enemies are strong, terrain treacherous, and the challenge is difficult. The sun is setting, and Rygar is depending on you. Rygar's exploits were once confined to arcades, but now he is battling the forces of evil everywhere. Join forces with Rygar. A reading from the back of the box. Praise be Tecmo.
Interestingly enough, if you look at the back of the box, the top screenshot. There's 3 screenshots on the right side of the box. The top screenshot is not from the game.
Wait, what? Oh, you... No.
What's it from? I mean, it's definitely looks. It's him on the pulley. I don't recognize the mountains, but
I don't recognize the mountains. I don't recognize the stump. The stump that the pulley comes out of isn't the same stump is in the game. It's
You're right.
I don't know if it was from an earlier version or what, but
It may have been from a prototype, yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I thought was pretty intriguing is at the very top of the screenshots is the special bonus offer to collect Tecmo's ID badges. And I'm wondering, what the hell are Tecmo's ID badges? I never looked it up. But I want to say, if I had to guess, I would say it's these like graphic squares that have like the sun and the mountains on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something like that. Because I know, like, on the spine of every Tecmo game, there is something like that. I know Ninja Gaiden had it.
Interesting.
And I know that Rygar had it. But, again, that's just a guess.
So I just looked this up, and seems a lot of people have the same question.
Oh, interesting.
And at least someone says that it was either a watch or a poster. Like you had five badges. You had some paper inserts that came with the purchase of the game. And if you collected all 5, you could mail them in for a special gift. And apparently not many people or no one actually knows what this special gift actually was.
That's crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
Kind of like the sword and the Sword Quest games on the Atari. That whole competition thing. Anyway, that's a whole other story.
Yes.
But, anything else? Oh, the other thing I thought was funny was over 250,000 sold in Japan.
Yep.
You're just using the word million to make it sound like it's a hell of a lot more than what it actually is. Yeah. All right. Anybody's got anything else about the box art or?
I'm looking. I'm trying to. Man, there's an area so similar to what that image is, but I can't find the exact spot. So maybe it is just from like a different version of the game. But
Let us proceed to category 6, which is fun factor.
I love this game. It was so fun. It's not just the fact that it was an early NES game and it needs that stipulation. Like playing this game again and playing it with the manual and the map and all that, it is actually really fun. I enjoyed figuring it out, where to go, getting all the items. Man, it was a good time.
Yeah, I had a fantastic time with it too. I just love the variety of like the items and stuff, and like I love that. I played almost the entire game without really knowing about any of the special power-ups, and I got to the very last, flying fortress there, and realized I could not stand a chance against Rygar. So I went and I read the manual, and I kind of made out what they were talking about, and I'm telling you, that assault and assail attack thing just changed the game for me. I fought Durango on my own without any of that stuff, and he was the hardest for me. He was the hardest boss.
Well, especially considering you didn't use anything on him, yeah.
And I didn't have any. I didn't have any pumped up stats either. But I still, regardless of all that, I still had a blast playing it.
Yeah, so good.
So I had fun with the game. I was actually surprised I had fun with the game, because growing up, Rygar was one of those games. I was really young. It was when the game came out, I would have been like 3 or 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember. I don't think we ever owned the game. I don't think I owned the game. I think it was rented or borrowed a lot. And so whenever it was in the house, I remember as a kid playing this game and wanting to like it, but never being able to understand how to get by the like the first section where you go up to the meditating guy or the Endora god or whatever he is, and like he says something about like, oh, you need to do this or that or the other thing, and I'm like, okay, well, how do I do that? and I never figured out to go right past him, like up top. So he never knew how to get by that first screen. So I didn't know what I was going to get myself into when I came back to this game as an adult. But surprisingly, I was like, oh, like I just needed to kind of, I don't know what's going on, like have a little bit more observation skills or whatever. But yeah, I had a great time. I think they did a really good job. This is one of those games where you are pleasantly surprised.
Yep. My memory as a kid is just that it was too cryptic and I didn't understand what to do. And I didn't break open the manual to figure out, that there was a map and it's actually not that difficult to figure out what to do if you just take a little bit of time to read. And
right.
Once you do, the game's great.
Yeah. Yeah. And same thing. I rented this game and, I thought when I was a kid, I could never get past the, Lapis, I think its name is that like two-headed eyeball thing.
Yep.
That was the end of the game for me. I could never get past that. So getting past that was like this huge moment for me, as far as this game goes. And yeah, I had so much fun playing it. I can't say it enough. All right, let's proceed to category 7, which is controls and technical. So I'm going to start off with the bad things.
Okay.
There were some seriously cheap enemy spawns in this game.
Yeah.
Like they just come up right up from under the ground as you're running, like right in front of you. No time to like
especially
react.
In the overworld. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And as far as there was a lot of technical issues with this game.
Yes.
I remember when I was a kid and I rented the game and I didn't have the manual because back then they didn't include the manual with your rentals most of the time. So I had to figure it out on my own. And I went to Iruga's forest and I fought Iruga, which is a giant turtle with 2 tiger heads. And he'd shoot 3 projectiles in the most inconvenient spots possible. And so I decided, after being frustrated, dying constantly, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna bounce on his head. And I bounced on his head and he like slowly turned to the right, to screen right, and slowly walked to the edge of the screen and then started glitching out, like flipping left and right over and over again. And then I did that and I realized, I was like, oh wow, what's going on here? And he's not shooting at in my direction anymore. So I'm gonna get off. He stayed flipping like that. And I killed him that way because I didn't know about the power-up system. I didn't know how easy it was to actually kill this guy if I knew about the power-up system. So that is like my experience with the glitchiness that is this game sometimes. But on a positive note, the game does side-scrolling and top-down, I feel, equally well for such an early NES title.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will say that there are some serious bugs that that can be exploited in this game. For instance, I don't know if you've ever figured out that he can airwalk. So it has an interesting mechanic, and I think this might be the reason why maybe it feels good to you, Archbishop Dracul, is or no, it was Father Avram. You're the one that mentioned it, that the landing on the platforms feels good. But there's an interesting thing where he's almost got this Wile E. Coyote issue where as long as he doesn't look down, he won't fall. So you can, if you hold down and to the right simultaneously, all right, so you're squatting, and then you barely flick the up button, Rygar will start to stand up, but he won't fully stand up, but he'll take one step forward. Then he'll immediately squat again. You can rinse and repeat, and he can just walk all the way across any gap you want, because he technically has not. It only starts to calculate gravity once Rygar has completely stood up 100% of the way. So you just never let him get to that last frame of the animation, and you can just walk on air. It's crazy. And then, speaking of the boss rooms, those things are jacked up. There's so much exploitation you can do. So in the code, all the boss rooms are stacked next to each other, one by one by one by one. And so if you take a hit from one of the enemies, from the bosses, and that projectile pushes Rygar into the next room, the whole screen will scroll into the next boss fight. And you can skip over and then take out the next boss fight, because you will respawn right there at the other boss fight. And you can do that, rinse and repeat, and then just get all the way to the final boss of the game. It's crazy stuff. And similar to screen wrapping in Zelda, you can do that with the pulley thing. You can actually, like, you know how you like scroll up and down. If you're on just the right pixel at the right time, you can actually you're pressing up, but you end up flying down, screen wrapping and wrapping around, and then go into this glitch world where all the sprites are jangled up, but you can jump your way through the game and get to the end game just through that. The any percent world record is wacky to watch, because all those exploitations are in there, and the whole game gets beaten in less than 7 minutes. It's nuts. Super cool to watch, though. I kind of like those kind of glitches.
Well, they're always super interesting on the NES, because it's like you never quite know what you're going to get with those, because every single game was coded 100% different.
Yeah, and they had so much limitations with the number counting that, things like screen wrapping and, a weapon or an item or an entire character going from the right side of the screen to the left side of the screen. It's just a spillover of a number, right?
Essentially, yeah. It's memory overflow. It's, there's all sorts of things you can do, but the safeguards that are on it or not on it. It's like it's not like today where it's like, oh, I'm gonna download, Unreal Engine and make a game, right? It's not like that. There was no engine. You made the engine, and that's so every game was just coded 100% different. Every game, except for a few, had a totally different music engine. It manipulated the same chip, but all the code that actually loaded the sound and played the sounds, totally different code in every single game.
Except to this one in Go 13.
No, there were a few of them. I think the Metroid team came up with an engine that they reused in several other games. I don't know them off the top of my head. But it's just fascinating. And that's sort of why, like with all these different games, you have the Mario world there that gets all screwed up. But they're all different. They're all different because they all have different coding. It's fascinating. But I think as far as technical, as far as I'm concerned, I was impressed. I I didn't really find any exploits. There was definitely some jankiness that I didn't like. I would have loved to see Rygar fall to the next screen rather than climbing up this rope and then falling and having it be game over. I thought that was janky. It's like I just came from that screen. That could have been a nice quality of life addition. I definitely agree with the enemy spawns thing. I think the enemy spawns were cheap in some places because they were seemingly just completely random, or I should say pseudo-random, because there really is no such thing as random on the NES. But it's the fact that they could squeeze the two different types, the top-down and the side-scrolling, to the quality that they did, and still get boss fights, still get an ending. To me, it's a technical success in spite of the jankiness of the bugs and the exploits that you can do. I think that it was very well done.
Yep.
I agree.
Let us proclaim the hints and cheats of our game.
There are no hints or cheats in the manual. So, I couldn't. I'm not gonna list all the cheats that are on GameFAQs.com. So that's that for hints and cheats.
I mean, I will say, use your special skills. Use attack and assail. There you go. There's the hints and cheats.
There you go.
Yeah. The other hint and cheat is that tone stands for attack, last stands for health, and mind points is magic. There's your hints and cheats. God damn it.
Yeah.
And now, brethren, let us offer each other the body of price. The body of price is when we compare game prices then and now. And unfortunately, we do run into this with a lot of games because we're talking about, 40 years ago. We could not find the price of Rygar when it was out on the market, unfortunately. Sometimes we get lucky with these things. This was not one of those times. However, according to pricecharting.com, today you can get a loose copy for $11.70. If you want a 5-screw, you're going to be paying $15.95. To get the box only, this is really interesting. But the box only at $46.27. However, the box for the 5-screw version is $26.80. That's a little bit of an enigma. Manual only for the regular version, $8.99. But the 5-screw version is $29.95. Prices are all over the place with this one. And complete inbox, $81.10. For the 5-screw version, $66.99. Totally backwards. And then brand new inbox, again, this one blows my mind, $324. But to buy the 5-screw version, brand new, sealed, $268. How is this possible? Usually the 5-screw versions are astronomically more expensive than the regular versions.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. I just wrote down the numbers.
It must have had a very limited re-release or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's possible.
Maybe
that's the revision 1 you're talking about.
Oh, that's a good point. I wonder if the 5-screw and the 3-screw are revision 1, revision 2. It doesn't sound right. I'm going to go behind my wall and take a look.
As we wait on bated breath, as Deacon Gabor heads into his vault.
All right, 5-screw. Wow, a lot of writing on it. And yeah, it's revision 0.
Huh.
You know,
What do you know about that?
man, some jerk wrote a lot on the back. Seth, you bastard.
Let us now execute judgment upon Rygar and decide which of the 7 cardinal sins it has committed. Father Avram, in regards to narrative, what is your final judgment?
I know I'm so on the fence with this category specifically. I'm just gonna make a judgment call here. In regards to narrative, Rygar has committed a most heinous cardinal sin.
Deacon Gabor, in regards to narrative, what is your final judgment?
In regards to narrative, Rygar has committed no fault.
In regards to narrative, and in the presence of this assembly, Rygar has been spared. Father Avram, in regards to audio, what is your final judgment?
In regards to audio, Rygar has committed no fault.
Deacon Gabor, in regards to audio, what is your final judgment?
In regards to audio, Rygar has committed a most heinous cardinal sin.
In regards to audio and in the presence of this assembly, Rygar has been spared. Father Avram, in regards to game design, what is your final judgment?
In regards to game design, Rygar has committed no fault.
Deacon Gabor, in regards to game design, what is your final judgment?
In regards to game design, Rygar has committed no fault.
In regards to game design and in the presence of this assembly, Rygar has been spared. Father Avram, in regards to graphics, what is your final judgment?
In regards to graphics, Rygar has committed no fault.
Deacon Gabor, in regards to graphics, what is your final judgment?
In regards to graphics, Rygar has committed no fault.
In regards to graphics and in the presence of this assembly, Rygar has been spared. Father Avram, in regards to box art and presentation, what is your final judgment?
In regards to box art and presentation, Rygar has committed no fault.
Deacon Gabor, in regards to box art and presentation, what is your final judgment?
In regards to box art and presentation, Rygar has committed no fault.
In regards to box art and presentation and in the presence of this assembly, Rygar has been spared. Father Avram, in regards to fun factor, what is your final judgment?
In regards to fun factor, Rygar has committed no fault.
Deacon Gabor, in regards to fun factor, what is your final judgment?
In regards to fun factor, Rygar has committed no fault.
In regards to fun factor, in the presence of this assembly, Rygar has been spared. Father Avram, in regards to technical and controls, what is your final judgment?
In regards to technical and controls, Rygar has committed no fault.
Deacon Gabor, in regards to technical and controls, what is your final judgment?
In regards to technical and controls, Rygar has committed no fault.
In regards to technical and controls, in the presence of this assembly, Rygar has been spared once again. Clean sweep.
Wow.
I don't know if that's ever happened, actually.
It's happened once, but only because of the talisman of...
Absolution?
Yeah. Rygar, having committed no sin in design, execution, or intent, is found wholly without fault. By the authority vested in the sacred tribunal, we do not redeem you, for you require none. We hereby canonize you as a saint of the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.